Hi, I'm Susan Kennedy of Pretty Peaceful, and today I want to do a little review of some new Freia Fibers yarn that I bought recently. You can purchase Freia Fibers yarn from FreiaFibers.com, and the specialty with this yarn shop is just beautifully hand-painted wool yarn gradients. So the first one I want to show you today, I'm going to talk a little bit about these shawl balls, and then I want to show you this beautiful little box of yarn cakes. These are called Minikins, so we'll get to those in the end. So Freia Fibers, they hand paint their gradients, and there's 66 different ones to choose from. The website's beautiful, eye candy if you're into yarn. And for each gradient, you can choose whether you want to buy it in super bulky yarn, worsted weight yarn, sport fingering. And for the fingering weight yarn, there are a few different choices. You can get a shawl ball, which is what this is here. This is the colorway Dusk. So it's a single ply merino wool yarn. It's spun and hand painted in the USA. And this shawl ball has 430 yards or 393 meters. It's 100 grams. You can also get a yarn bomb that is about twice the size. So you can get that in this hand painted gradient. You can also get a semi-solid. This is the color Elephant that I'm pairing together with this gradient shawl ball in the colorway Dawn. The yarn is just gorgeous. It's a single ply. It's got a little bit of a halo to it, super soft. And I'll show you what I've made with this so far. The project I'm working on is going to take 2 gradient shawl balls and 2 semi-solid shawl balls. It's called the Cozy Yogi Wrap, and you can find it in my book, Crochet Southwest Spirit. You can also find it on Ravelry. So this has not been blocked, and it's got the yarn ends hanging all over. But I just want to show you how pretty this gradient is when it works up. It's just a really beautiful flow between colors. The drape of this is really beautiful. This is moss stitch crochet with a 6mm hook. And it's making me really happy. I really love this yarn. That's why I wanted to do a video and show you what this is like. So if you've used a gradient yarn before, something like a Lion Brand Mandala, which I love, or any other kind of gradient like that, cupcake yarn, this is really the luxury version of that. It's just delightful. It's like just wonderful to work with. Definitely worth the price for this kind of high quality wool. This is top shelf premium wool here. So that's the shawl ball fingering weight. To me, it's a very plush fingering weight. It's not as thin as a kind of string, cotton type of gradient yarn like a hobby twister or some of those other really thin cotton that also say super fine weight category 1. This one to me feels it works up a little bit thicker. For the DK version of this wrap, I used a 6.5mm hook with mandala yarn. But for this one, I'm only going down a half size to a 6mm hook, and I feel like it's it's turning out slightly smaller, but the drape is wonderful using that big of a hook. So to me, it's, for my tension, it's working up more like a fine weight 2 category yarn. So next I want to show you another option for the same weight of yarn. These are called Minikins, and you can also get them in the same 66 gradients as the regular bigger balls of yarn. This is called the Palette Pack, and there are a few different colors to choose from on the palette packs. There's a baby's breath, kind of like pastels, back to basics. There's an earthy palette, which that's this earthy palette right here. And then there's a jewel tone one, which is just stunning, that I was really tempted to order as well. There's one with neutrals. There's one called Retro that has a really interesting mix of colors. There's one called Sunkiss, which is brights like the jewel tones, really beautiful. And then a watercolor version. So what the Minikins are, I'm going to pull out the Dawn one because we just looked at the big version here. This is the regular shawl ball, and this is the little Minikins. Same colorway. They're wound in opposite ways, so kind of the brown colors on the outside of the Minikin. So these have 107 yards. They are 25 grams, and oh my gosh, aren't they just adorable? So here we have the dusk colorway. Did I call it dawn before? These are both dusk. Sorry about that. Dawn and dusk, kind of the same, right? And then we have crab apple. That is just a really beautiful mix of fall colors to me. This one is the autumn rose colorway, and that's really pretty. The kind of an olivey green in the center and really dusky rose on the outside. This one was really calling my name too. It is River, kind of a stone brown in the middle, out through like an ecru to a really soft blue. Then here we have Canyon colorway. Really beautiful natural gradient, and this looks a lot like where I'm living here in Southwest Colorado. We've got canyons all over the place. This one is called Woodsman. That it's kind of got a really earthy red rust color in the center going out to green to like a seafoam color. This one is Maple. Really beautiful gold in the center going out to a really deep brown. Here we have Lucas, which is just beautiful spring green. There's some like ecru kind of tan in there as well. This one is called Woodsman, and beautiful earthy colors here from a red through to the green and brown. And then finally we have Ember. This is probably the brightest one in the Earthy pack, but you know, depending on the way it's wound, it may be more neutral and just that bright stripe of red at the end. It also comes with a free pattern. So the folio or the palette packs here each have 9 Minikins of these mini balls of the fingering weight merino yarn. You can also get 2 other sizes of these packs. There's a medium folio with 15 balls in it, and then a large folio with 24 balls. And you can choose either brights or neutrals or a mix. But what a fun little gift for anyone that loves yarn. My plan for these is to work them up in combination with one of the neutral semi-solid shawl balls here. Like I have this elephant colorway here. So I don't have an exact plan for these yet. Maybe I'll come back and update the video after I make something here. But FreiaFibers.com, check it out. Beautiful yarn. Highly recommend. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.